Good evening and welcome to another edition of the HGP Sports for today, March 11th. I'm Stanford Howard. Thanks for joining us. Operating this year under the theme Raising the Standard, the Bartica Association has kicked off its 2019 season. After years of dormancy, the GFF and the newly elected BFA has teamed up to get things going with the senior women's and under-17 leagues. Jaden Samuels reports.
Fruitful deliberations between the two sides materialized into a launch at the weekend, which will see football, and more football in the community of Bartica. Kicking off this year's season will be the senior women and under-17 leagues, which will be played at the Bartica Secondary School ground, featuring 8 clubs. At the launch was the Bartica Football Association President, Alden Marslow, and his executive, and President of the Guyana Football Federation, Wayne Ford, Mayor of Bartica, Gifford Marshall, and President of the Bartica Basketball Association, Kenneth Williams. President Marslow, in his address to the football-hungry gathering, mentioned that credit must be given to the hard work being put out by his executive, which was voted in only last year, as well as the Pele alumni for the National Under-15 and Namilco for the Under-17 tournament. The senior tournament has also gotten the green light from FIFA and CONCACAF through the Guyana Football Federation. Addressing the launch, GFF President Wayne Ford stated, "Every competition that will be organized over the next year and beyond under his leadership will receive significant funding from the Guyana Football Federation. This league is receiving $1 million for its operation with balls and other materials. The under-13, 15, 17, and very soon the under-20 will receive funding at various levels. The clubs that would be competing in the 3 tournaments are Beacons, Lazio, Rising Stars, Potaro Strikers, Mill Ballers, Wolves United, Riverview, and Agatash United." Jaden Samuels, HGP Sport.
More football news. All draw on Saturday as St. Mary's conquered Marian Academy on Sunday in the Milo Boys Under-18 Schools Football Tournament. Here's that story. Another dry spell in the final round-robin stage on Saturday. The first match between Annandale and South RUMVELTT Secondary were the most entertaining game of the day. Both teams registered 2 goals each, despite powerhouse Annandale got on the score sheets a little later than usual. South RUMVELTT didn't disappoint in their attack against the power team. Jamal Comey Wing beat the defense and registered the first goal of the day for South in the 12th minute, the only goal in that half. The second half saw 3 goals. This time around, Jerome Harrington in the 41st minute leveled the game for Annandale. A few minutes after, Tikwan Taylors in the 52nd minute added salt to the wound to take the lead. Nevertheless, it was Joshua Milo in the 59th minute who had the last laugh and leveled the game as both teams tried to penetrate each other's goal but were unsuccessful at the end of full time on 2-2. The other 2 games between St. Joseph and Kanji and President College and Lodge Secondary ended in a stalemate. Sunday fixtures had a little bit of drama since Stanislaus won via walkover due to North RUMVELTT no-show. The clash between the top schools saw Queen's College getting trampled by Bishops with a 2-0 beating. Those goals came off the boot of Michael Smith, who netted a double in the 43rd and the 50th minute. In the final match of the weekend tournament, St. Mary's pulled all the stops out with their win over Marian Academy with a 5-1 thrashing. Mary's at the end of the first half led 3-0 against Marian. Goals came from Michael Ole in the 15th minute, Jermaine Softly Springer in the 19th, and Joshua Samuels in the 24th minute in that half. The second half, Samuels added another goal to his name in the 43rd minute. Then Rico Prival in the 45th minute consolidated one for Marians. Nevertheless, Daniel Webster in the 52nd put a final nail in the coffin to finish the match. For HGP Sport, I am Stanford Howard. Telling football news. As blinds pull, windows shut, and doors close at the Guinness Greatness of the Street competition over the weekend, Samuel Gillis reports.
Despite a bit of wobble in their second encounter of the evening, reigning champs of the Berby zone of the Guinness Greatness of the Streets champion Trafalgar still managed to underline their status as the team to beat in this year's tournament in the New Amsterdam Ferry Stallion. Trafalgar was led by a Guinness goal from star striker Dwayne Fraser and one from Kevin Lane, who easily disposed of Hope Town by a 3-0 margin. In their second encounter, they were held to a 1-all by New Amsterdam Kings, but prevailing 2-0 in the penalty shootout, they now face Lynchfield in the first semi-final, while the Kings take on East Bank Gunners in the other. The winning team will receive $300,000 and the champion trophy, while second, third, and fourth place finishers will take home $150,000, $100,000, and $75,000 Guyana dollars, respectively. Meanwhile, the organizers have assured fans that there will be a giveaway at the finals as they anticipate another massive turnout to witness what is already being touted as two big epic matchups. For HGP Sport, I am Samuel Gillis.
Thank you, Samuel. Disappointing cricket news. After being bamboozled for 45 and 71, other than disappointment, what's next for the West Indies? While Captain Jason Holder is rubbing off the blows contended, the team isn't too disheartened since there are a few positives that came out of the tour. Summing up the series, West Indies playing on home soil against a more organized England lineup was inconsistent and a team that lacked commitment. Two key areas that will have to be ironed out if the Caribbean side is to make it through the Super 8 stages of the World Cup. Let's hope the home side can get it together before they begin their campaign in this year's World Cup. More cricket news. It's a waiting game for the Guyana Jaguars after bamboozling Trinidad and Tobago Red Force in the 10th round at Providence on Sunday. Find out more in this report. The regional 4-day champions, the Guyana Jaguars, will just have to sit and wait until the final round of the Windies Championship 2018-2019. Before being crowned champions once more for the 5th consecutive time. The Jaguars played Trinidad and Tobago in the final round and outshined and outplayed the Red Force at Providence in their encounter. Red Force opted to bat first on the first day and were bowled out in the first hour for 120 runs. Shepherd was the mastermind when he claimed a career best of 5 for 24 from 9.1 overs to undermine the Red Force batting in the first innings. In the Jaguars' response, Anthony Bramble cracked 62 to lead the Jags batting, but Red Force pacers did the job as they shared 8 wickets as the home team were bowled out in the final hour before the close of play on 165 with a lead of 40. Red Force in their second innings responded well to the small target lead and produced a salient effort with 206 runs all out. This was proven not enough for the home side at Providence as Captain Leon Johnson hit the top score of 76 and shared a 111 runs for the third wicket and anchored his side towards the finish with left-hand opener Tanjanarang Chandrapal, who was not out on 43 to get them over the line by 6 wickets. For HGP Sport, I am Stanford Howard. And finally in sport this evening, with the mining community set to ride off its first major cycling meet, dubbed Bartica Cycling Challenge. To date, well over 50 riders have stated they would be traveling to the town of Bartica for next Saturday's event. Jaden Samuels reports.
The event that has been long overdue will finally pedal off this Saturday with over $400,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs in the senior, junior, juvenile, female and masters categories. With just a few days left before the event, the trophies for the overall winner, the top female and juvenile, was presented to the Mayor of Bartica, Mr. Gifford Marshall, by trophy stall manager Ramis Sunish himself. This was done in the presence of Assistant Racing Secretary of the Guyana Cycling Federation, Joseph Britton. Speaking at the simple ceremony, Mayor Marshall mentioned that the Bartica Town Council is pulling out all the stops to ensure the successful hosting of the meet. Mayor Marshall also expressed appreciation to the Guyana Cycling Federation for approaching them to bring off the day of racing, which only augurs well for cycling in Bartica. Races for BMX riders in the 6 to 9 years, 9 to 12, and open races for residents would also form part of the day's activities. Jaden Samuels, HGP Sport.
Thank you, Jaden. That concludes our cast for this evening. I'm Stanford Howard, but do remember, persistence can change failure into extraordinary achievement.